Welcome, everybody. Good to see you, Sirius, Comet, Arzu. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get a little Spiderweb Software going, shall we? It's Geneforge 2 Infestation. We played Geneforge 1. God, when did we play Geneforge 1, actually? When was it? Last year? Oh no, now I have to look. Now I don't know my own content. I'm very curious. I'm pretty sure I have it saved. Yeah. 2022. Although it might have gone into 2023. We were like right at the end of December. Like 29th of December, it looked like we're finishing it up. But, oh. Yeah, that long ago. Yeah, I was surprised. I thought it was last year too, but it was right at the tail end of 2022. I was stunned. Like, people really requested it. I had my subs and patrons and stuff put in votes for what they wanted me to play. And for some reason, this game Geneforge came up. And I was like, alright, I guess. Like, it's a CRPG. Oop, there we go. Probably it's okay. Like, I'm guessing it's fine. No idea that it would be this good. Why is this not showing? I had this problem last time. My game capture does not seem to be working on that screen. Well, I guess we can do this. Weird. And it's not full screen. Why is it not full screen? One moment. That's a weird... I don't know why it's that weird resolution, so... 2560 by 1440, which is my screen. Huh. Why would it not fit screen then? Weird. In any case, as I was saying, this is fine. We'll leave it here. I was stunned by Geneforge 1 because I hadn't heard about it. People had mentioned Spiderweb Software, and I knew a little bit about oh man, now I can't remember. Eternum? No. What's the other one? Avernum? Avernum, right? Eternum is a, like, visual novel that I saw some people talking about one time. Which I think might even be erotica. Yes, it's Avernum. And I'd heard of that one, but I'd never heard of Geneforge. And I just, they're indie RPGs, they're fine. Holy shit, Geneforge 1 is good. Yeah, remade of the Exile series, yeah. I had no idea that Geneforge 1 would be even close to that solid. It is one of my favorite, like, isometric RPGs ever. It compares extremely favorably in my mind to, like, Baldur's Gate 2, which is high fucking praise in my mind. Very, very good. They're remaking Avernum now too. Man, I kind of want to play all of the Spiderweb Software stuff now because, like I said, Geneforge 1 left such a great impression on me that I will play pretty much all the games that Jeff Vogel does in the future. This is essentially a single dev doing all of this. the main gist of Geneforge, this is weird, was that imagine if you had a society of mages, but their magecraft was essentially bioengineering. And so it sets up this really interesting world. Hey, Witchfinder. At least in Geneforge 1, I don't know what Geneforge 2 is going to do, where there's this society of shapers that have control of basically everything. And they've barred off an island, you would get stranded there. He hired some help for the remakes, yeah. I did see that. But, the idea is you get stranded on this island that's been locked away that nobody's allowed to go to, and kind of uncover some of the darker secrets, and not even necessarily secrets, but just like ideas of what this world is. Because as you might imagine, when all of your wizards are actually biomancers that can manipulate and create life as, like, on a molecular level, do you make servants? Like, how do you treat them? It does this incredible job, because I was like, is it gonna go there? And it immediately goes there, and like, that's the whole game. That's all that it deals with. And it's really interesting. Like, truly a one-of-a-kind world, and like, people rightly make a lot of fun of like moral choices in games, in that most of the time it's like, you know, you get a binary choice. Alright, would you like to eat this baby or give it lovingly back to its parents? What would you like to do? You can spike it on the ground like the football, or you, you can send it off, you know, gently swallowed in cloth with lots of money so that it has a wonderful life. And there's no... Okay, I shouldn't say there's no, like, set moral choices, but a lot of it is it's a very open world game for Geneforge 1. Like, I was stunned about that, too, in that everything felt very, like, you could just go out and it's like, okay, well, you're on an island, you've got to find out what the mystery of the island is. And I found out later, you could just find another port off of the island and there's a boat there and you can leave. Like, in 30 minutes. Like, you can just fucking go. And not discover anything, not know anything about, like, your society anymore. Fuck off, bye. Peace, and win the game. And get an ending out of that. Like, it's really open. But that means that, like, going out and discovering, because in Geneforge 1, the shapers, the people that are making these bio-horrors and stuff, left this island. But their creations are stuck there. So they've made all these little societies, and like some of them worship you as gods, and some of them are like want to rebel against you, and just on and on and on. And you encounter them very naturally, and it's your choice how to deal with them in a way that's just oh, it's so good. When games are comfortable with players missing things, that's when shit gets good. Yes. Yeah, this game is... Geneforge 1 is very comfortable with you missing things. And then on top of that, just like the ethical ramifications of everything that they delve into is incredible. The villain of, like, antagonist, essentially, of Geneforge 1, the whole time I'm sitting there going, okay, but he's right. Okay, but he's right. Okay, but he's right. But like, wait a minute, but fuck. Like this, it was a tough, like, none of the choices were, but he's so villain coded. Yeah, there's so much about it that, like, you have to just trust him whether or not, because he's like, okay, these are, God, I'm getting too much into the weeds of Geneforge 1 and just not playing this game, but it's so cool and it's so important to talk about in a way. And I'm excited to see where Geneforge 2 goes, because it's such a self-contained game. the villain in Geneforge 1, because like I said, there's all these abandoned societies of beings that your society, essentially, the Shapers, have made, but then just left. And they made them as obedient slaves. Like, even hard programmed into their DNA that they have to obey. It's despicable. It's horrific, the things that you've done. They have... Like, when you go to one of the first ruins, you go to open a door, and it says, unfortunately, this door has died. You make living doors because, like, you can just make automatic doors then, right? Like, they're coded to your to recognize your people, and they'll just open for you, and they'll stay locked for others, so it's perfect. It's sentient! You're making, like, sentient computers and shit. It's fucked. It's so fucked up. But that means that when you find the villain, he's like, your society is built on slavery and misery, and you need to deal with that, and we need to wipe out your people, or like have like a massive war and an uprising. And I'm like, oh shit, this dude's right. But like, the one thing is, he's like, well, and to do that, you have to give me ultimate power. Trust me. I will absolutely use it the way that I'm saying I will. And so you're like, okay, he's right. But he's gonna do it. It's so... That, like, that's more the question for me in that game than the other things. It made such a great, like... And a bunch of his underlings had kind of gotten out of his control, and he's like, no, they went off... You know, I've stopped them. Like, they're bad. I'm not gonna do that, though. Like, this is supposed to be a war to make sure that we, you know, set these people free. This is... And it's... Oh, God. It's such a, like, very, very tough choice. And it's just that throughout the entire game. Like, the whole game is just like, what do I do here? So it's very interesting for ethically looking at things, too. It's an incredible premise and a really interesting game. And this is Geneforge 2. So I guess there's the preamble that I didn't need to do that I spent too long on. But I started thinking about Geneforge 1 and I immediately had thoughts again, because it is a thinking game, and I'm hoping this is the same. I'm excited. So I'll jump right into Geneforge 2. We can be a Guardian, a Shaper, or an Agent, which were the same classes as the first one. Agents are, like... The Shapers are the main ones from the Shaper Society, and that's kind of the general name of all 3 of these types. Like, people will immediately call like, when they see you, they'll be like, oh, you're a Shaper, even though your class might be Agent. They're just different kinds. So Shaper is like the main kind. They're like the wizards, essentially. So they're very physically frail, but they're very, very good at magic, which means they're very good at shaping biomass into other living things. Agents can kind of do their own stuff a little bit. They're kind of in between, so a little bit roguelike. And these are more of like your actual fighter class. They are skilled ones. They can still make creatures, though. All of them can. So like mainly magic, in between more melee. I don't know why we would ever want to be anything but a Shaper, because the premise is so cool, personally. And I'm not normally a wizard class in a lot of these games, but this one is different. Alright, Jeef. The other classes, I think, are for better replayability, in your opinion. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not saying that it's, like, wrong to have them or anything. Just, for me and the way that I want to play this, having played the first one, man, Shaper was... It's so interesting and so well done that I can't possibly really imagine doing it another way. lot of different difficulties. It'll start out quite easy, become a challenge as you get close to the end. Nice moderates. I think we did veteran before. Also, we can change them later, so we'll do veteran. Here we go. All right, this is the preamble that I already gave you. The Shapers are the oldest, most respected, most secretive, and most powerful of the magical sects. They have the power to create life. The Shapers can make new life forms from nothing but organic matter and pure magic. They can mold this life to serve any purpose, be it light housework or major warfare. The Shapers rule the known world, and they guard the secrets of their power as well. To learn their techniques without permission is to court a speedy death, at the hands of a guardian in the day or an agent in the night. That is why your current position is such an honor. You are a Shaper apprentice. You have earned the right to join them. They will teach you the secrets of life. However, Shaper training is long and difficult. You spent years of exhausting study and have little power to show for it. To be made a full Shaper, you must complete your apprenticeship. That means field work. You must go out into the world and learn how your power can control it. You have been assigned to a full agent named Shanti. She will guide and instruct you. Your mission is simple. You are to go to an old Shaper colony called Dry Peak. Dry Peak is a failed colony set on a rocky, desolate mountain. You are to get a status report from 2 Shapers who run it. Once this mission is complete, you can return home and gain real power. You travel with Shanti for weeks, hearing advice, running errands, getting abuse. Having the pleasure of your common humans fearing you and calling you Shaper. Then you climb into the desolate mountains and you see the rubble and ruins surrounding Dry Peak. After a long, exhausting climb through the cold wastes, Shanti lets you set up camp in an abandoned shop. You sleep like the dead. When you wake up the next morning, Shanti is gone. Man, that's a good setting image. Mage makes a dino that breathes fire so they can have a campfire. Yep, that is one of the basic shapes that we can make. So, like, right away...
Okay, let's run.
Hey, Ann
The best
Batari.
wizards ever. Totally not biased. A Shaper.
So yeah, that's a Fiora. There's also Roamers and Drakes, Dracons, Thads, Clawbugs, Battle Alphas. Ooh, Rockeroths. Those are new. The Artillas are, I remember. The Vlish, I remember. Glax, yes. Gazers are also new. So it looks like this third class is all new. There's Fire, Battle, and Magic creations. And this is the neat thing about this game, or at least it was about Geneforge 1. We'll see how it's changed. But if you need a RPG party, all right, here we go. I'm going to make a Fiora. And then that's going to use up some of my green bar, my creation magic. And I can give it upgrades that will make it cost more essence. So you can actually make them, name them, everything. And these are your party members. And they will die. And you can even just reabsorb them into you to heal you. It's a terrifying world, honestly. The higher level that you make them, too, the less your control will be on them, based on what your current control is. Oh, right, I remember, oh man, one of the other really cool things that this does is, like, so it'll go into turn-based, like, grid, isometric, tactical screen when we get into combat. Something that it does, you have this junk bag. Useless items go here, you can sell them back in town. So basically it automatically separates your junk, and your junk is infinite. So if you're like, man, I want to like pick things up. I'm a little loot goblin. All I want to do is loot goblin things, but it won't let me any. It'll let you, which is really nice. It's really, really nice. Sleeping on a cold stone floor has not helped your muscles recover from the long journey. You cough some ruins dust out of your lungs and stretch out. Quickly, you get up, as Agent Shanty tends to be impatient. You left your blade on the table, probably best to be able to defend yourself in the wasteland. To use these items, you'll first have to pick them up. Alright. My junk is infinite is a pretty good statement. True. Shouldn't it be... Ah, right, okay. Is that tab highlighted it? I guess not. Okay, so I guess we can't pick up that book. Ah. So the record thing is so that you can, like, keep track of certain quests or, like, exact wording, which is nice. Just makes an automatic note for you. You start to leave and realize that you probably need a weapon. You've gotten equipment, but you haven't equipped it yet. Right. Fine, fine, thank you. Some items you find will be useless, some won't. Fortunately, if you want to get rid of something you're carrying, it's easy. Put an item in your pack on the ground, open the inventory window, grab the item by selecting it, and then select the ground area. Gotcha. Oh, I didn't mean to record, but sure. Pick a ball, baby. Oh, doesn't take items that are useless or not your property. Well, fuck you. I want to take all of them. I'm a little loot goblin. We already established this. Gloves are nice. Oh god, that's so dark. Yeah, I was so put off when I got into Geneforge 1, and you're immediately encountering stuff like that, and you're like, oh man, this game, like, God, like, I feel like we're the bad guys in a lot of ways immediately, and it's not really worded that way. It's talking about how cool we all are, and then it immediately, like, takes the turn, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, never mind. Fair enough. It's going to delve into how much of a villain are you or not. You step out of the abandoned shop into the daylight. You get a good look at the road leading up to Dry Peak Mountain. However, unfortunately, this valley is dry and barren as every inch of the miserable journey up here. Dry Peak is a hugely unsuccessful Shaper settlement. The Shaper's best efforts to create plants and animals that could thrive here resulted in failure. Some of these failures escaped and spread. Thus, most of the shops and homes, like the one you spent the night in, are empty. You are but a novice in this remote land. Shanty, your instructor and overall boss, is waiting outside. She's typically impatient. Well, novice, I hope you have had a good long sleep. She places extra emphasis on the word long. Shanty strides up to you. Your mentor is wearing the studded leather armor favored by agents, excellent for stealth and quick travel. A long curved blade hangs from her belt. She also wears a peculiar necklace, a series of polished fangs on a leather thong. She tends to idly finger it when deep in thought. Shanty is eager to get going. You're well rested, Chief. A long night of leisure suits you. I want to get to Dry Peak soon. The sooner this job is done and we're back in civilization, the better. Not far. Okay. This is a miserable place. It was when the Shapers first got here. They wanted to make a paradise. The experiments failed, everything ended up worse, and now agents have to clean up their mess. Typical. Wow. It's our job. Our job, you say? It's my job. My job is to check on Dry Peak, meet with Zachary and Barzal, and get out of here. Your job, young apprentice, is to follow me, do what I say, and try to learn something about fieldwork. Zachary and Barzal are Shapers, here and in charge. Hopefully not making this gruesome mess worse.
I feel the
Yo,
cosmos.
Walladell! Good to see you.
Woo.
Thank you for that 67 months. Dang. F3 is quick save. Okay. Shanty raises a hand to stop you. Wait. This is a good chance for you to do something. That ruin looks interesting. Go in there, investigate. See what you find. Maybe you can get some extra supplies for us. What if I made something dangerous in there? Well, running is an option, as is fighting. And being devoured is, of course, one of the paths you could choose. Why are there so many ruins and abandoned shops? Well, when our kind tries to settle an area, we have to create the whole ecology from scratch. We make plants, animals, birds, and so on. Jigsaw everything together to make the area work. But sometimes we just can't do it. We can't make creatures and plants that live in harmony. When this happens, there's no point in staying. It is unfortunate, but that is what happened here. Now it's just a dusty, forgotten settlement. The Shaper Council only rarely remembers it. When they do, an agent is sent to check up on them. Investigate, then follow. You immediately recognize what this place was, a shaping hall. Though this chamber is abandoned and the essence pools in the alcoves are empty and cracked, their purpose is clear. Shaper settlements are full of places like this, where your kind goes about the business of using their powers to create useful life, and if necessary, to destroy it. The clay shapers used to mold life is called essence. It is a gooey, partially alive substance, warm, liquid, and charged with magic. Shapers like you have the ability to hold essence within your body. This can be used to make life and power spells. If these vats were full, they could recharge your supply of essence. Perhaps there is an intact store of the stuff farther in. By the way, if we're doing junk stuff, you made a mod like specifically for junk stuff? Interesting, Waldell. I don't know what the junk stuff would be. Goo. Also, have fun at the casino. Okay, shields. Cool. And a map. Limbs and bones. This is a shaping chamber. Here, shapers can use their secret knowledge to take raw essence and work it into living things. Strong and usually obedient. Happily, there is an intact essence pool in the back corner. When you are low on essence, standing near such pool will restore your reserves. Later, you will use essence to make creations or cast spells. When you cast enough spells, you will need to return to a pool like this one to recharge. However, when you make a creation, the essence you spend will be tied up, keeping the creature alive. Essence spent making a creature won't come back until the creature dies or you reabsorb it. So yeah, we're breaking off some essence to do this. Let's actually make one finally. Just give it... We'll just make one. Also, right, I made one mistake here. We can also just shape it more at any point. If we're gonna forge genes, then there we go. We forged a gene. Oh, I see Walladell. That's nice. So, that used 6 out of 19 essence? Alright. Yeah, make creations. Can make up to 7 servants. What is on this table, actually? Oh, a bunch of shackles. Neat. Okay, control click is what sends it down immediately. Gotcha. Are all these gloves currently the same? Yes. Things to sell off. Notes on combat. Start of each round, your character gets a base of 8 action points. If you have any action points left, you can do an action. And then, like, you know, moving, attacking, etc., etc. Okay, equip 50, and we've got... Okay. I'm assuming that means we're going to get into combat in a moment. Also, shouldn't there be a way to change up our formation? Ooh, I got a kitty in front of me. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, can we not? Huh. I remember last time being able to, like, choose exactly where in a formation everyone went. Because I would like to be in the back. I'm a wizard. I don't want to be in the front. This is an operating room. Oh, just drag the portraits. Right, okay. Wounded humans and creations were brought back here for maintenance. A trained shaper can use magic and raw essence to rebuild damaged bodies. Happily, there is an intact healing pool in the back corner of the room. Pools like this one are semi-living creatures, shaped to cure beings who stand nearby. If you are wounded, stand near such a pool to heal yourself. There is a hole in the roof that enables sunlight to shine through. The light helps keep the pool fed and alive. However, without added nutrients, it will eventually dry up and die. Oh, you know, just man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. This is a storeroom. Most of the equipment here is useless to an adventurer like you. However, you are happy to see a living tool on the table. Oh god, right, living tool. Oh god, I forgot how fucked up that is. I forgot the living tools thing. A living tool is exactly what it sounds like. It's a tentacled creature attuned to the wishes of whoever is holding it. You can direct the long, dexterous tentacles of the little fellow, using it to unlock locked doors and manipulate machinery. You should get the living tool. Later, when you find a locked door or a piece of misbehaving machinery, you'll be given the option to use one or more tools on it. Unfortunately, using a living tool tends to kill it. The higher your mechanic skill, the fewer living tools you need for any particular job. God, that's awful. I had forgotten how horrifying that is. Alright, looks like we have uncovered all of it. Yeah, the funny thing is that it actually makes more sense than lockpicks do a lot of the time for, like, as you said, the way that you would constantly break them, which is weird. But, yeah, it's terrifying. Like, oh, I need a hammer. Yeah, alright, here, take this cat. It'll die, but you can use it. And it's like, oh, that's... But I don't want to do that anymore. You are surrounded by gruesome fungal flora. Bulbous trees and woody spikes stick out of the dirt at strange angles. This is the work of shapers, trying to make trees that can grow in this dead soil. The experiment was not a success. This is living flora, true, but it's thorny and useless. A breeze carries the scent of the plants to you. They also smell like rot. Lovely. You realize that, once again, you are not alone. There is a Fiora in the clearing ahead, watching you. A Fiora is a creation. It is a creature invented and improved by your people, for use as a scout or an attack dog. Since it is a creation, it should naturally be inclined to obey you. However, this creature does not seem obedient at all. It's not hostile either. It's just staring. It is an eerie feeling, being watched by a creation in this way. Creations have always obeyed you mindlessly before. Dry Peak was supposed to be a quiet, mostly abandoned settlement. Why is a rogue wandering around? Strange. And dangerous. Right, rogues are what they call anything that basically breaks the bioengineering mind program that our mages put into creatures. And rogues must, by law, be hunted down and killed. Of course. You can't have any revolutions. You find a small camp. There's a dirty, torn tent. There are faint, fresh tracks around it. Some human, some reptilian. You find no sign of who lives here, however. You feel like you're being watched. Starts to walk away quickly. Odd. Okay, let's follow it. Oh, Shanty stops you. The late morning sun has caused her to break out into a sweat, and she seems very slightly unnerved. I've been scouting ahead. This is not right. There are rogues in this area. I think I may need to give you some combat training earlier than I planned. And some advice as well. Search that room to the south. You describe what you saw, and Shanty is thoughtful. Less in there than I hoped. Still, I hope it was instructive. Hey, Zoffer, good to see you. Thanks for that 18 months.
Jam.
I'm ready for training. One of the first things you learned in your training was how to focus, so that you could be taught things very quickly with almost no need for repeating. Yet, you've been taught very little. The Shapers are very slow to teach initiates their secrets. That is why it is a pleasant surprise that Shanty is teaching you an actual skill. Listen carefully. This is something you should know. Shanty explains to you the techniques and magical twists and turns you will need to create a new sort of creation. It is a humanoid battle type called a Thad. It can punch your foes very effectively. And the advice? You're a Shaper. Fragile. Easy to abuse. Your power comes from your creations. You should create a creation or two to protect you as soon as you can. Avoid contact with foes and burn them down with magic when your creations aren't adequate. You'll follow me. If there are rogues, as I think there are, we'll need to kill them. It's our responsibility. The ones I miss, you will slay. The rogue's blocking the way ahead. Maybe we should turn around. Are you mad? You're of the Shapers. You are a master of creations. Even if we did not have a mission, and we do, rogues must be destroyed. If they run free, they can do harm. Straighten your spine. Remember, we must never let our creations resist us. Never allow them to throw off our control. If they do, they must be erased. Otherwise, all will be chaos. She checks to make sure her blade is ready. Then she turns and leaves to the north. Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, and we leveled. So... Train. Shanty has drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, that's really the whole thing, right? The way that I've always looked at it as them being like, oh, the Shapers are really concerned that, I mean, if they just teach anyone, then some of their powers can be used for bad things. You know, like setting the creations free. It always felt like the training's very slow, and it's implied that it's like, we gotta make sure you're fully on board with the way that society is set up, and that you're like, no, this makes sense. Yeah, like, you make a door. You make it out of living material. It's just a door. Who cares when it dies? And they just kind of drill that into people, and... only then do you learn how to make doors. So you have 10 skill points to spend. I think that in some ways... Well, like, that's the part that's neat about this game, Walladale. Is that, like, from a certain perspective, controlling dangerous knowledge makes a lot of sense. But it has the added benefit of also being that they can make sure that you're on board with the way their society is. Like, there's... I like that there's a lot of questions around everything. Like, even the Shapers, as obviously misguided, especially, like, having played Geneforge 1. I don't know about Geneforge 2. Maybe they add more nuance, even more to it. But, like, when you think about the way their society is set up and the people that you meet that are Shapers and things like that, their perspectives make sense. I can't say I agree with them, but they have a logic to them, and, like, everybody... It's not like a childish, well, I want to be evil, I want power. It's not that. Like, that's not the reasoning. they have their reasons for doing it, and they make sense when they tell them to you. So in some level, it's convincing, which makes it a much more interesting world because of that. Because I personally find it despicable based on Geneforge 1, because I know that there's more context that'll be added in this game. But, like, it's hard to think of a way that it could justify it. In any case, it does a good job of kind of adding a lot of nuance to what everybody's doing, and there's not really an easy answer out of most of the problems. Like, it very much, this game, what I've found interesting about it is it doesn't even necessarily judge you all that much for the choices that you make. It just kind of lets it naturally play out. At least in Geneforge 1. Again, I'm talking from Geneforge 1 experience. Where, like, sure, you can, you know, whatever choices you make, it won't, like, oh, you're bad, and people will, like, look at you awfully, and et cetera, et cetera. Like, they'll be like, oh, well, you're a monster. Unless, of course, you did it to them. You know, some bad thing or some wrong. But in general, it's all very natural. It's not, like, the game doesn't try and specifically, like, hammer a way into you that, like, this is bad. It will let you explore the ethical ramifications of what you're doing by the world reacting to you. Yeah, exactly. The game won't judge you, obviously, but the characters and what happens in the game might change, and that will, like, again, inform those kinds of ethical dilemmas for you. It's a neat game. It's really neat. But I should play it instead of talking about it. I love getting more Essence Mastery. Having more party members is cool, and there's no wrongs about it. Yeah, exactly. There's no renegade meter that makes you look more evil because you're a jerk. You don't get a dark side points and special powers for being evil. You don't get, like, glowy eyes like in Fable. Like, there's nothing like that. Not at all. And honestly, most of the time, like, again, it's pretty rare in the first game that you get a choice that you're making where you can say, well, I want to do this because I want power. You'll be like, well, I want to do this because I need power because I need it to do, like, these things that I think will help shape the world to be better. And whether or not that is actually going to make the world better is very debatable sometimes, but you can choose those things. Oh, does it take... Wouldn't that only take 3? Why is it taking 4? Oh, fucking... Yep, I see. I'm very smart. I just got home from a wedding. Weddings are long. Brain not working. Uh-huh. Because I was thinking, oh, 4, 3, 3. That's 10. There we go. Now I'm like, Maybe like in Spellcraft. We can currently do Spellcraft and Endurance. Good to get a little bit of HP. I'm curious, what do we got on the ground here? Yeah, we do need to put some points in some general skills. Oh shit, combat. Okay, so it's 5 action points still. 3 to walk. It's going to be some number to attack, right? Let's do this. Ow. Mechanics and leadership are your early dumps. Yeah, right. Talia of Ezrit, loyal shaper. Made mistake, eaten. Date of death is 20 years ago. Okay. Fansrin, mundane guard. Slain pacifying a rogue. He honored the law. I know we can go to the next area, but it's a neat world to just explore. Like most of the shops along the road to Dry Peak, this smithy has been abandoned for several years. Some industrious souls have been tearing blocks out of the wall and carrying them off, probably for building materials. Surprisingly, someone has left some javelins on the counter. They look new. Maybe they're forgotten by a hunter. Awesome. Missile weapons are nice for when we run out of spell points. I love how tools are useless because we're like, as shapers, we're like, well, no, we've got these living tools. Why would I ever want a regular tool? I'm not swinging my arm. Ugh. Gross. Finally, I can have my pants up. There's a huge rat cowering at the end of this path. The beast drools with hunger. Its eyes gleam with a vague intelligence. It doesn't want to bother you as long as you leave it alone. Giant rats didn't always exist in the wild. Then a careless shaper let one escape. Now they do. That is why shapers never, ever let outsiders learn their secrets. The ability to create life comes with great responsibility. People using shaper skills in irresponsible or forbidden ways are speedily hunted down and killed. See, like, in some ways, that makes sense. Like, yeah, that's responsible. You don't want to, like, just fuck up the environment willy-nilly. You've got to have, like, a lot of training and stuff for that. It's just everything else about their society that sucks. Give that a good old chompy. Is he still another enemy? I don't think so. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, a corpse. Oh, hell yeah. Shanty didn't let us have boots. Let's go over here and heal up. Hey, Tumnal! Good to see you. Spiderweb games are also fun, but Exile 3 in particular, not the remake, is still one of the best RPGs ever, in my opinion. I thought Geneforge 1 might be that, personally. Like, for the remake, anyway. I never played the original, but I'd never played any Spiderweb games until the remake came out, and people requested that I play it, and it won a vote. You might have seen me play some Geneforge 1. This looks incredibly similar so far. Need more living tools to open that. Gotcha. Spiderweb Software was known for full-price games using a decade-old engine. Yeah, that's fair. But also, like, I still think I don't care about the game engine. I care about the world and the writing and the mechanics of it, and I think all of those things are amazing. And I'm not saying that you don't agree, just, yeah, that's why I think these are fantastic, because I don't have to have all that. Yeah, I don't think that J-Dub is one of those people, Autumnal, just that was their reputation, which makes sense. Agent Shanty's tracks are still visible in the sand, but your mentor is nowhere to be seen. Perhaps she's letting you travel alone for one of her little lessons? You're getting closer to Dry Peak. The crumbling walls of abandoned buildings line what is left of the road. As you get closer by the Shaper settlement, you have to carefully thread between thick tangles of cacti. These plants are still shaped, but a more successful design. Yep, made some creations. Cool. Already done, baby. The wind carries to you the sounds of growling and hissing, followed by a whooping laugh and an explosion. Sounds like Shanty has found some rogues to fight. She's probably enjoying it. There's a building to your right, almost overgrown by the hardy, twisted desert flora. Maybe there's something useful inside. This is a small shaping chamber. It is in buildings like these that shapers make their new creations. They use healing and essence pools to recharge themselves. If you stand next to the pools, you'll be healed and energized. Shanty has left some things here for you. There's a healing pod and a shield on the table. Also, there's 2 books around the corner. Left here for the instruction of young shapers. Healing pod is nice. There's essence. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that gives you experience? Damn, we definitely need to read these. I've not played Dominions. What is Dominions? Need 30 living tools. Oof. Alright. Can't make a creation while someone's visible. Alright, time for a cheetah man. I think I'll just leave it at level 1 for now. Alright, so we have Jean and Jean. As you do. And we'll let Gene be our front line. The Thad stumbles up and down the path, mostly lost in its strange mental world. Though you must concentrate on it now, you can sense the presence of other creations stumbling through the heavy thickets. The Thad stares at you with a confused look on its face. And it bares its teeth, an unacceptable show of defiance. This Thad is unstable, but it isn't fully rogue. You might be able to exercise some control over it. You concentrate and extend your will, attempting to pacify the confused Thad. The beast shakes its head and whimpers. For a moment, you think you're succeeding. And then the Thad shudders and snarls, completely rogue. It hisses and lurches toward you. Oh, right. We need to do leadership for that. I wonder if I could have gotten there. Oh, if I remember correctly... Oh, that's Gene, that's why. Oh, and there is another enemy. Like, we can add them to the hotbar. Okay, looking good. Our two Genes are doing excellent work so far. No. God, how do I put things on the bar again? I think that it's in skills somewhere. Creation. I feel like I should remember this. Oh, okay, it's just clicking it here. Just can't do that in combat. Gotcha. Nothing. And we're mostly at full health. Starving Fura. Oh, shit. Well, I was clicking too fast. Ow. Oof. Okay, good. Whew. Getting a little dicey there. More damage than I'd like, that's for sure. Throw on a cloak. Oh, shoot. Well, did not mean to throw away the lamp, but that's okay. This small shop has been effectively demolished by rogues. This is unusually vicious destruction, even for a mad creation. The only things left intact are a few pots. Maybe there's something of value inside them. I love that it's telling us now how to do it. Ah, speed pod. That's good too. So I got another living tool. We could go back to that starting area and open up that door. I'm actually kind of curious about what's back there. Hey, it's Shanty. I think Shanty's slightly better at this than we are. Although she did just miss it. Having dispatched the cluster of rogues, Agent Shanty turns to you. She hasn't even broken a sweat. She inspects your condition and nods. I see you dealt with the rogues I left for you. Good. It is important to know how to defend yourself. However, apprentice, there is something you should remember. Combat is not the only way to achieve your goals. Stealth and diplomacy work as well. If you wish to avoid battle, I suspect that in practically every case, there's a way in, or there's a way to. Alright, so we could have actually used leadership to talk to that Thad, and probably not fight anything. A truly skilled shaper can complete missions without ever attacking a foe directly. There are usually 3 routes: diplomacy, tinkering, stealth. What if I prefer to obliterate things? Honestly, that's my preferred route. But I'm a bastard. Rogues must be purged. Foes of the Shapers must be disciplined. Still, I admire the elegance of the pacifist approach. I truly hope we can evaluate the situation in these mountains with minimal violence. She's, sure a piece. Aren't you scared being outnumbered by that? No. Scared? Of our creations? We're shapers. We are the absolute masters of the life we create. Heaven help us all if we should ever be otherwise. Why are there rogues here? She looks at the dead Fiora and frowns. I don't know. It's a shameful state of affairs, at the minimum. We need to find out what is happening here. The state of this colony is a disgrace. We shall continue follow. The road ahead is blocked by a large stone gate. Agent Shanty stares angrily at it, muttering to herself. At least your creation makes you feel less exposed and alone. You scratch it reassuringly behind the ears. You have reached Dry Peak's customs gate. All Shaper settlements have a portal where visitors are questioned and searched. Normally, there would be guards here, waiting to search you for contraband and forbidden bits of shaping. However, there's nobody here. The main gate is closed. The door to the guardhouse off to the side is closed. It doesn't look at the moment like there's any way in. For the first time, you start to wonder if there are any people in Dry Peak at all. To proceed, you'll need to find a way to get this gate open. Agent Shanty stands next to the locked door of the customs gate. She's furious. She twists her tooth necklace absently in her fingers as she thinks about what to do. Gate locked, huh? Yes, and unguarded. Nobody here to let us in. Somebody's going to answer this. I'll make sure of that. Oh, Shanty's her last name. I get it. Her first name's Karen. What I want to do is tear this gate down with my bare hands. This is an insult to leave a gate abandoned like this in a Shaper settlement. Unacceptable. Still, it's a good chance for you to practice your skills in a field setting. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to start by standing here. Then I'm going to tell you to look around. Then I'm going to have lunch. Be a good apprentice, and if you can find a way around this gate, run along. Back talk, back talk, back talk. Shanty is amused by your insolence. But not much. Remember, student, wisdom and power are only given to those with common sense, such as the sense to obey one's superiors. But if you want to end up spending your life in some backwater maintaining serviles and picking rocks out of your boots, that's your choice. You enter the customs office. Not surprisingly, nobody is here. However, it doesn't look like it has been abandoned for long. There are cloaks hanging on the wall, and the table isn't dusty. There's a lever in the middle of the room. Perhaps it's the control for the gate. Normally these use tools or exact keys, right? Needs 30 living tools and another 30. No way to fix this. Sure. Okay, give me a very quick moment here to take a break. I'm just, like, falling asleep here, actually. I'm really tired all of a sudden. I had a long wedding day, and I got another one tomorrow, and another one on Monday, and then one on Wednesday, and then one on Friday, and then one's on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But, for now, I just need to get up, stretch my legs, splash some water in my face, maybe get my coffee that I made, and I'll be right back. Thanks for stopping around so far, and if you liked the stream, those follows do mean a lot. See you soon. Thanks for waiting around, everybody. Sorry about taking a little bit of time there. Weddings are one of those things. Like I said, I had a wedding today. It was an amazing, great ceremony. Maybe the best one that I've ever done. I had a blast with it. And so I didn't feel like it was really draining. But I always forget, because when I work like a regular 9 to 5, not doing wedding photos, or like when I'm at home here editing, I can work for 8 hours and I, get on and just start streaming. End at 5, come home at 6 or whatever, and like start streaming at 6:30 and be good. And I come back from a wedding and I'm gonna start a stream. And it's 6, and then it's 7, and then it's 8, and then I'm like, oh shit, I should write that stream. God. Oh, I'm just zoning out. And then I start the stream and I'm sitting here the whole time just rubbing my eyes and trying to stay awake. Yeah, they're very weirdly draining, even when they're fun. Something about, like, somebody having a big party and having to be on the whole time for it. In any case, more Geneforge. You hear squealing and chittering from the thicket to the north. There are little dark fanged creatures trying to conceal themselves back there. Not Fiora, smaller and weaker. They are creations. Alas, you recognize the design. They're huge, twisted rat things. Creations, but not a sort anyone is allowed to make. They are scavlings, a modified variant of the huge rats to the south. A notorious pest and forbidden creation. Shy, but hungry and vicious when you get close. You wonder what Shanti would say about this. Oh, they're cute! In a really horrible, awful kind of way. Uh-oh. Our Fiora got scared because it has too low health. Maybe should have done some healing first. Well, that's a lot of these. Jesus. Uh-oh. I don't like that. Well, at least I can get into range. Whew. Little dicey. There should be a rest, isn't there? Or do we only have to go to the pools? Inventory, get item, journal. Start combat, end combat. You have to go to town or the portals. Okay. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you had to go to town. Right. Yeah, I remember that. Well, let's head back around and get to the healing. We could use our healing pods or whatever, but they're pretty banged up. Not really a reason to waste them on that when there's healing right here. I wonder if we can talk to Shanty and say, hey, by the way, they're making illegal creatures out here. Rough little guys. Can you believe that? What an insult. Oh, okay, we can. See, and this is the, like... There's so many weird little choices that you don't even realize are choices in these games sometimes. Like, oh, you can just go back and tell her immediately. Do you want to do that? Up to you. It kind of suggests it, but you don't have to. Yeah, I'm going to tell her. She takes it surprisingly well. Just a calm nod. A forbidden pest creation allowed to take root and roam free. Interesting. I did not think I could be angrier. And yet, here we are. Scene Shaper Zacharian Barzal is even more urgent now. Someone must answer for this. Yeah, she didn't seem angry. Nope. Handled that surprisingly well. We're learning a lot about Shanty's character, I think. Oh my god. The healing was right here. I didn't have to go all the way. That's really good. Well. Cool. They're like, yeah, this would be a good save point for you. Here you go. Oh, did you already walk back, you idiot? There are some rusty tracks on the ground here. At one end, they've been torn up. At the other end, they've been overgrown. Dry Peak is definitely a mining colony. There are several large nests back here, made from trash and twisted sticks. The scavengers here might have found something interesting. Okay, we got a sword, so we could do melee if we want. Probably don't. The nests primarily consist of junk. However, you do find something interesting in this one. There's a small iron key on a leather thong. Some guards must have dropped it, and a scavenging found it. You take the key and pocket it. Guess that I know what that's for. Shouldn't that automatically use? Maybe these ones? Okay. These are the locked doors. I'm gonna get to sell so much good stuff. Okay, door's locked. That needs 6 living tools. Well, that's not happening. Ooh, there's an Artila there. I saw it. This is a weapons storeroom. Most of the racks and shelves are empty. A lot of guards have been taking weapons recently. One useful thing was left behind, though. There's a baton on the table at the north end of the room. Oh, is this oh, okay, no, it's the thorn batons. Okay. I was wondering if it was a control rod, but yeah. A baton is a missile weapon. It is a mix of living and non-living matter. Yep, even bioengineered blowguns. A creature created by shapers, which lives in a thin metal frame. It is bred to spit thorns when its tail is squeezed. The sharp and venomed thorns can do a lot of damage. There are also some thorns on the table. Yup. I do love the premise of this. Like, the whole idea of this world of just, like, every little thing being, you know, organic. Whatever. Sure. Why not? Is very fun. It leads to some interesting problem solving. Alas, the customs hall is not entirely abandoned. You see another feral creation in the hall to the north. A long, glistening Artilla is slithering around, leaving a trail of slime as it attempts to detect prey. The bones of several victims litter the floor around it. Artilla are dangerous. If you keep your distance, you might be able to slip around it. Fuck it. Nope, no longer patient. Oh god, I should have been patient. Oh, thank god, okay. I was like, oh, we hit this for nothing. That's kind of terrifying. Looks like we're okay, though. This was the quarters for the captain of the guard. Nobody's here at the moment. You notice a crystal on the table to the north. These crystals are useful magical weapons. When thrown at a foe, they turn into powerful bolts of energy. Crystals are not usually made by shapers. They're mere rocks charged with magic and thus beneath your kind. They're useful nonetheless. I do love that there's like other magicians and stuff in this world, but they're all, everybody's like, ah, those are dog shit magicians. They just use magic. We make life. We're real magicians. Absolute dog shit magicians. Total garbage. Can you imagine playing with rocks, these idiots? Oh, I can make a rock explode. Wow, cool. I can make a rock open doors for me because they're all alive and they're horrible. Ha! Take that. I can give this rock life so that it can love me and cause all kinds of ethical dilemmas. I'm twice the wizard you are. for now. This recent caravan a few months ago. There we are. You even gonna talk to me? Jesus, Shanty just fucking walks past. Finally, you have reached the front gates of Dry Peak. You are very relieved by what you hear. Ahead, floating to you on the wind, you hear the sounds of merchants. The sounds of boots clicking against cobblestone roads, the grunts of the serviles working in the fields. Dry Peak is still a functioning settlement. However, their gate to the outside world is abandoned and overrun with rogues. Why? Hopefully, you and Shanty will be able to solve some of this mystery. Onward. Ugh. What are those scuttlebugs? Okay. Sorry, they were a little obscured there, and I'm like, Skoo hatchlies? What is this? At the far end of this neglected trash pit, you find another sign of Shaper neglect. A nest of scuttlebugs has established itself here. Like scattlings, scuttlebugs are a Shaper mistake. A verminous, crop-eating pest that's escaped from your labs and spread. Harmless to you, they are terrors to farmers. They're easy to crush and almost impossible to eradicate. Shapers came to these mountains to shape a new ecology and settle them. This is another sign that the experiment is going very badly. What's this? We finished the tutorial. You should know about the journal. Yep. Oh. Shanty strides up to you quickly. She's in the mood for a good rant. Rogues everywhere, the customs gate locked, the main gate unguarded, nobody here to greet us. This is a disgrace. You got the gate unlocked, but I feel you could have been faster. Ooh. Let's tell her where to go. Help? No help. We Shapers gave you the power of a god. What more help do you need? We'll discuss your insolence later. At length. For now, there's an immediate lesson I must give you. Apprentice, always remember this. We Shapers are respected and feared. Why? Because we have great power and keep it a secret from outsiders? Perhaps. Because we kill anyone who steals and misuses our powers? In part. We Shapers are respected most of all because we look to outsiders flawless. Perfect. We may argue internally, but to the outside world, we never look weak. Zachary and Barzal have failed in this. This settlement makes us look like fools. Now you and I will find them, and we will find out why this disaster has been allowed to happen. We have much to do, and I have much to teach you. Come. She turns on her heel and strides towards Dry Peak. Okay, I can't grab whatever sack that is. The automatic living doors are still weird. Tunic. weaker than what we've got. Yeah, having a mentor changes a lot at the beginning, for sure. I really liked the last game's intro, though, because it feels very mysterious. Like, you land on an island, you get just nothing. And then it just says, like, well, I don't know, go find something. And it doesn't tell you, like, basically anything else. It just says, go out, here's a couple of actions that you can do. Go discover the secret of the island and find a way off of it. At last, one of the residents of Dry Peak has come to greet you. He's a common warrior, wearing a captain's insignia. He has dark circles under his eyes, and his armor is old, worn, and dusty. He's not happy to see you. Welcome, travelers, he begins. I am Captain Tekenna. I'm sorry for our tardy greeting. We must be cautious. Lately, we've had troubles. Can I ask you to identify yourselves? Have we been, like, properly shamed by Shanti now? Are we afraid of her after getting yelled at a bunch in the tutorial? Go away. You take a step back, confident your trainer will have something to say. You aren't disappointed. Captain Tekenna looks at Agent Shanti. You command, yes? May I see your credentials? Captain Tekenna's words only infuriate Shanti further. She says, in an icy voice, Dry Peak receives an envoy from the Shapers, and only a mere captain is sent to greet us? What an insult! Take me to Zachary immediately. I will only speak my business with him. Tekenna looks nervous, like he doesn't want to take you anywhere. I'm sorry, Honored Shaper. I see you have traveled far. However, I have orders from my own Shaper. I can't let you proceed without evidence that you have business here. Shanti is quiet. She seems to be sizing up the situation. Or getting her rage under control. One of the two. Yeah, let's let Shanti be mad at someone else for a minute. As the Shapers say, the mouth is like the city gate. Opening it lets the warriors of stupidity into the world. You remain silent and see what your teacher does. With clear regret, Shanti pulls a scroll out of her vest. She didn't want to give up information quickly. She hands the paper with her orders to Tekenna. He reads it carefully, becoming more distressed with each word. An inspection? Now? Of all times? Fine. I'll take you to Shaper Zachary in the research warren. He starts to walk north. Before Shanti follows, she turns to you. I may have a use for you. You can follow us right now to meet Zachary, or you can take some time to look around this town first and see what you can learn. Either way, come and catch up with us soon. You can see what I can learn from Zachary. The lesson in diplomacy will, I'm sure, be useful. Shanti walks off. Alright. I do want to see her do diplomacy. I feel like she doesn't do it well. You get your first good look at the remote settlement of Dry Peak. It's not wealthy or properly maintained, but it's also not as awful as you imagine. It's a valley of dusty, crumbling shops clustered around a single road. To the north, you can hear serviles working on Dry Peak's excuse for crops. Far to the northwest, you can just make out the entrance to the mine, the sole reason Dry Peak exists. Though the ground is mostly barren, a number of shaped palm trees have taken root. These were brought from some desert and magically altered into flora that can live in this high, arid climate. However, these trees are growing too quickly. They're like weeds. Thick, wiry, mostly useless, and desperate to destroy what few roads and structures the Serviles have managed to build. All in all, this place is dry, cramped, and unpleasant. You look forward to meeting with Zachary and Barzal, and then getting out. Also, funny thing is, palm trees aren't trees. They are weeds. They're a grass. There's your fun lore for the day. Now we all do a little bit of learning. Thanks, Antari. Man, what the heck even is a tree? Not palms. These grasses. The more you know. Take a look. It's in a book. These buildings look like private homes. Shapers are allowed to enter the quarters of common humans and search them whenever they want. But theft is frowned upon. Farther up the road to the northwest, you see several shops. You can buy and sell supplies there. There are a few patches of crops here, part of Dry Peak's pitiful attempt to be self-sufficient. These tired plants were the Shaper's best effort to create vegetables that can grow here. They aren't adequate. There are several Serviles working in the fields. Serviles are probably the greatest creation of the Shapers. Small, strong, slightly smart, endlessly obedient. They are your most important workers and servants. Sometimes, some Shapers worry that Serviles are too intelligent, too independent to be trusted. Looking at the creatures working here, tireless, obedient, and happy, it's hard to believe that this could be true. So the Serviles are... Oh, I was hoping it would show the face. They're like weird elephant men. Hey, John Locke. Good to see you. And Hankosha. Didn't say hi to you either earlier. You meet a Servile. Serviles are the most loyal and useful of the Shaper servants. Okay, yeah. It's intelligent enough to work independently, but not smart enough to rebel. Serviles are about 5 feet tall and heavily built. There are many designs, but all are agile and muscular. This one looks up at you with the expected calm, blank gaze. Yes, Shaper, how can I serve? Its clothes are very dirty. It probably spends all of its time working in the fields. How are you feeling? The Servile has to think about this question for a minute. I'm... well. Well. What are you doing now? I wait for commands, Shaper. I do what you want. How do you feel about having to work? The Servile is very confused. They're not made to be smart. I dig. I build. Keeper Thasilla gives the orders. She feeds us. I like her. The Servile gives you a confused look. Then it smiles. Yes, I helped. Servile wanders off. Oof. No removal of supplies without permission. Aww. Oh, that's... Oof. Specifically to discipline serviles, huh? This is the entrance to Dry Peak's mine. With great efforts, serviles bring iron ore and crystals for shaping laboratories from the earth. There are no serviles going in and out, though, and the mine carts haven't been used in months. The mine is dark and hisses the stink of rot. And hisses and the stink of rot rise from the depths. The rogues you met outside Dry Peak have taken up residence here, too. You meet one of Dry Peak's guards. He's tired, dirty, and poorly equipped. He's not dumb, though. He knows enough to stand at attention when a Shaper approaches. The kind of John Locke. It'll explore that, I imagine, if it's at all like the first game. I played Geneforge 1 a year and a half ago, it seems, like late 2022. And it was one of the best RPGs I've ever played. Absolute classic. Just fantastic little game. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's probably like 20 bucks or something on Steam. It's been that long. I finished it in... it looked like the last day that I had on my channel for Geneforge was December 29th, 2022. How have things been going? We've been fighting rogues, and we'll keep fighting them. Till they're dead! Or we are. Guard things for a moment. Or both! Thanks. You can tell me about Zachary. He's our leader. He points, I stab. He can be found in the warrens. Geneforge 1 is only $8 right now? You should buy Geneforge, shouldn't you? Do you like, do you like computer RPGs? Isometric ones? Yes or no? If yes, absolutely, it's one of the best ones I've ever played. It's very, very good. At least in my mind. It's got, like, some really interesting, unique twists on the genre. Both in storytelling and in actual gameplay. You never get a party, you make a party. I don't know if you know anything about the series, John Locke. But it's interesting. I thought Barzal died a year ago. Torment is one of your all-time favorite games. You should play this. So, like, right now, we have a party of 3. If I want, I can make a party of 4. I have essence that I can use to create life. Yes, this is the remake that was in the work for a while, Cosmic. We had... this one just came out. We played Geneforge 1 earlier, and it's wildly good. Everybody recommended it. Eventually I ran a poll, and it won like 2 years ago. And after playing it, I was like, God damn it, I should have done this a long time ago because it's very, very, very good. This low, smoky chamber is where Dry Peak's serviles sleep. These creatures are simple, undemanding, and very messy. The hall is full of clutter. There's a fire pit in the center of the room. Though this valley is dry and hot during the day, it gets rather cold at night. Okay, that's locked. Sure. Oh, not yours. Right, okay. So let's not thieve. Thieving's not a great plan. You can certainly do it, but let's go talk to the leader of the village first. These stone shells are the remains of an earlier attempt to expand the village of Dry Peak. The effort was abandoned the same time the settlement was. The twisted, weed-like trees have started to tear up the stone walls. Unless constant effort is spent cutting them back, there will soon be nothing left. Dry Peak has shown some creativity, though. One of the ruins has been repurposed as an Ornk pen god, which are weird, genetically modified pigs. So real quickly, because there's a few people coming in that might not have seen this game before, the basic premise is fantasy world, but we are a shaper. We're an apprentice shaper, in fact. And the Shapers are basically a godlike sect of mages. The reason why they're considered godlike is that they use their magic specifically to manipulate life in such a way that they can, like, change any organic matter into living creations that they can sculpt and, like, make obedient. And that comes with all kinds of horrific ramifications. Like, for example, instead of lockpicks or hammers or things like that, you get living tools. So we make living organisms that have long tentacles that just, like, we can hover near machinery and stuff and kind of instruct it what to do through magic, and then it dies. Because we have no real compulsion to keep things alive, either. Why not? We can just make new ones. It's fine. Who's Ilili? The town's alchemist is very happy to see you. She makes sure her bubbly mixtures can be left alone for a minute and greets you with a smile. You suspect, however, that she would be happy to see any new face in this remote valley. Welcome, honored shaper. I am Ilili the alchemist, trapped in this desolate place and eager for news of the outside world. Please, how can I help you? Yeah, let's sell things. Sell all the junk. Oh, everything they can afford, which was almost nothing. Gotcha. Would your products be useful to me? Very much so. They can heal you, cure diseases and poison, and do other very useful things. Pods only help the person who drink from them. Probably you. Spore pouches, on the other hand, shoot out spores that help everyone nearby. Probably you and all of your creations. Getting healing pods isn't a terrible plan. Or like some spores. Price is very expensive. Gotcha. Alright. Pods, healing spores. Cool. So where's Zachary? Need more living tools for that. Where is Zachary? Is it this way? You stand at the entrance to a huge subterranean hall. You expected to find something like this. This will be the research warren. Yeah, there we go. Where shaping of new life forms takes place. The leaders of the settlement likely live here too. If you want to find Zachary and Barzal and get answers about what's happening here, this is a great place to first look. You meet one of Dry Peak's guards. He's tired, dirty, and poorly equipped. Alright. Same conversation as before. This is just a big thorn-spitting fungus, which we have as defensive turrets. You enter the Dry Peak Warrens. Once, this was a shaping hall. It would have been the first installation built when the Shapers came. All the life forms that settled this area were created here. Shaping halls were built underground so that, if anything went wrong, they could easily and forever be sealed off. Now it is used as a command center for the whole region. The entry hall is guarded by huge turrets. These immobile, fleshy creatures are created by Shapers and can shoot vicious thorns at intruders at a remarkable rate. Considering how poor and run down this region is, this warren is surprisingly well maintained. If you walk farther in, you should meet Shaper Zachary, and half of your mission here will be complete. You finally come face to face with Shaper Zachary, the leader of the settlement of Dry Peak. He stands hunched over, the ancient, wasted-away leader of a failed colony. His left eyelid twitches, and his hands have a constant, gentle tremor. This frail, old Shaper is surrounded by a considerable number of guards, both shaped and human. He is prepared for a considerable assault. When you approach, both he and Shanty turn to face you. Now that my apprentice is here, Shanty says, we can begin our meeting. Agent Shanty sighs. She says to Zachary, part of my job is instructing young Jeef. Hopefully, my apprentice will watch silently and learn. Okay, the minute that she says it that way, I immediately want to say sorry for the delay. I think I might have a problem with authority in real life. Hold up, wait. Do I have a problem with authority? Is this my problem? Weird, I get this strange feeling like I should immediately say no to every time somebody asks me to do something. Huh. Anyway, sorry for the delay. The two elder Shapers stare at each other intently. They ignore you. God. Shanty presents a scroll to Zachary. Here are my orders, fellow Shaper. I've been... Hey, Zomba! Good to see you. Thank you for that 78 months. God. Here are my orders, fellow Shaper. I've been sent by the Council to speak with you and Shaper Barzal about this colony's progress and future. Hope this will not cause you much trouble. Zachary takes the scroll and opens it. He scans the writing with a quick glance, barely absorbing its contents. The elderly Shaper clears his throat. It takes him some time to gather his thoughts. I have sad news. You are here to see me and Barzal, but Barzal is dead. There's a long, long silence. Agent Shanty gives you a quick side look. Oddly, Agent Shanty seems to want you to speak for once. Well, I've learned my lesson, though. Don't I wait and listen? Shanty says, I'm sorry for your misfortune, and I'm sorry to hear about Barzal. However, I need more information than that to return to my superiors. I assume I'm free to explore these mountains? I'd be pleased if you would, Shaper Zachary says. He clearly doesn't mean it. And since the area is dangerous, I'll make sure my guards escort you for your own safety. I've also made quarters for you in Dry Peak, near the road back home. Shanty says, then I'll rest in a proper bed for a night. My investigation begins soon. Thank you for your help. They bow to each other and Shanty starts to leave. She motions for you to follow. Thank you, Shaper Zachary. He looks at you with a start. In his distracted state, he forgot you were there. Yes, of course. I'm having a lot of fun fucking with both of them. Once you're at the far end of the hall, Shanty leans close and speaks quietly. Well, that was useless. And worrying. What do you think? I mean, they're gonna have guards watch us. Escort us, They're having guards watch us the whole time. They're hiding something. So that's why I should say, everything seems fine. Let's go home. No, I'll say that they're hiding something. She nods approvingly. Yes, they are. Poke around for a bit, then come meet me in our quarters. They're at the south end of town. Then she leaves. As she does, you notice that Zachary exhales with relief. Good to see you, by the way, Joe Cube. How you doing tonight? Hopefully you're having a good one. Sorry, just taking some drinks. I've had this coffee here and I've hardly touched it. It's getting a little late. It's only 11 o'clock at night. Definitely the time to start having some coffee, if I'm gonna say so. Anyways, why am I so tired all the time? Time to poke around. Let's talk to Zachary again. Now that she's not around. You return to Shaper Zachary, still sitting limply on his throne. Up close, he looks even older and more infirm. His time in the Dry Peak Mountains has extracted a horrible price on him. However, it is always deadly to underestimate a Shaper. This man contains great power. Even if he didn't, he's surrounded by powerful guards. He waves you forward with a trembling hand. Greetings, Apprentice Chief. I'm sure most of my business is with your with your master. However, if there are any little questions you want to ask, I wish to be nothing but helpful. Father? What? Brain? Please? Chief, I am your father. That'd be a hell of a twist for this game. What was on the scroll Shanty brought you? He removes the now wadded up piece of paper from the pouch and hands it to you. There's nothing surprising. Paper simply identifies who you are and what your purpose here is. Get a report on the colony, question Zachary and Barzal. Let's ask about the rogues. Minor concern. There are a handful of rogues probably wandered down from the higher valleys. We will handle them with ease. This region tends to make creations go rogue easily. The environment is hostile, and it upsets them. It is troublesome, especially when it happens to our serviles. We try to deal with rogues quickly and decisively. Huh. Their serviles have problems going rogue, huh? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with any rogue? When a servile becomes erratic, it's punished. If it goes fully rogue, it's destroyed. Do not let yourself become too attached to serviles. It's a bad habit shapers sometimes pick up. Uh-huh. Is it possible to restore a rogue creation? It is possible sometimes, very rarely, for the most powerful and dominant of shapers. The penalty of failure is death and destruction. Centuries of experience shaping has taught us that the hard path is the best for all. Mm-hmm. Don't we have some responsibility to our creations? It's wrong to be kind when that kindness results in the death of an innocent. Every shaper is allowed to voice such sentiments a few times, when young. Such ideas are best left to youth, or you may find your career as a shaper to be short and unproductive. Okay, thank you, Mr. Zachary. Stone workshop, alright. Oh, hell yeah, booze, baby. Alright, I solved the mystery of the beer. That's what we were looking for, right? Beer is all. Beer is for all. Done. Let's go home. Okay. Bunch of ore processing books. You keep hearing about this, but you have no idea what the game is about. Egrets, good to see you. We did Geneforge 1 2 years ago, the remake of it. People were extremely high on it and kept suggesting it as a game. Eventually it won a poll for what I should play next, and it was one of the best RPGs I've ever played. Like, it's truly something amazing. I can let you know a little bit if you have a you said you were sitting down. The basic premise, this is the sequel, although it seems like they're very self-contained so far. Like, the big kind of setup for it, though, is that we are a shaper. So it's, you're cooking your background entertainment. Okay, well, I can talk. Idea is that we're a shaper in this fantasy world, and shapers are a sect of wizards that are essentially gods. Everybody worships them as such, or a lot of people do anyway, and they have utter control of a lot of their society. Their society being that their magic is that they've learned to shape life. So what it is they can, like, take any organic material, even lifeless stuff, like stuff that has died, like you can take a corpse or whatever, and then just shape it into any kind of life that they want. Including, like, for example, so that's very powerful. Also, horrifying, and it immediately leans into it. Like, we get, instead of lockpicks or, like, tool kits with hammers and things like that, you get living tools, which the description says here is, living tools are actual living organisms. They have several long, thin tentacles, which a skilled shaper can manipulate to open or repair mechanical devices. They are delicate and generally expire after only one use. So they die. One of the biggest, like, what the fuck moments for me when I first started Geneforge 1 was going up to a door, and a lot of the doors will open automatically, and I didn't really understand why. So I went up to a door, and it wouldn't move. And I kept on looking at it and, like, trying to do things with it. And finally I got the description of, oh, this door died a long time ago. And then you look at the descriptions of the doors, and the doors are, like, rocks interweaved with vines, so that they recognize your wizards and just, like, open for you automatically. And that means that your party, you don't get a party, you make a party. It's just you, and there's lots of NPCs and other characters you can talk to and such, but they never really join you because you instead create various Pokemon that you can take with you. And that's what your party is. It's incredible. It gets into all kinds of really interesting ethical and other, like, moral dilemmas right away around all of it, and it's really cool. Yeah, you can do runs that don't do shaping, but yeah, generally, even they can do some if they want. Like, there are different character classes that do less shaping, but all of them can do it. Yeah, possible in a very different playstyle. I find the, like, idea of how this plays, summoning up all the weird little monsters that you can learn, to be way more intriguing as a first playthrough than doing, like, agents or guardians or whatever. But, oh, shit, this is our quarters, damn. I didn't want to go here yet. I wanted to look around. Shanti has settled into your temporary quarters. Well, settled isn't the right word. She is ready to slip out and start investigating. Likely when the guards aren't looking. When you join her, she distractedly fingers her tooth necklace. We have a problem. A real problem. Our orders tell us to find Barzal. I do not believe he's dead. I think we are being lied to. Okay. Why do you think Shaper Zachary is lying? Mostly a hunch. Learn to trust hunches, apprentice. A large part of it is that the death of a Shaper is a significant thing. I don't think Zachary would keep that knowledge to himself. Alright, go home, report the problem to the council. You are in a look of contempt. I am an agent. This is not a path for cowards. When we find a problem in the field, we don't run away and hide behind Mommy's apron. We solve it. Going home is a last resort. Okay, what are you going to do then? I need to sneak out and investigate, but only when I can. I'm being watched closely. You, on the other hand, are an apprentice. They don't take you seriously. You can go where I can't. Explore the valley. See what you can find. When you learn something interesting, report back to me. Hey, can you train me up at all? Regretfully, no. Unfortunately, before we left, I was told specifically what skills I can teach you, and I've done so. Shaper laws are very strict on what secrets can be taught. Some flexibility would be useful here, but alas, there is none. No, it hasn't been established that she's dad. I called Zachary dad. So Zachary can be my daddy and she can be my mommy. You said you're a Shaper? Aren't you just an agent? It is perplexing at times. The outside world, we're all Shapers. Anyone who molds life is a Shaper. But inside our world, we have the three sects. Shapers, Guardians, and Agents. Each with their own tasks to perform. So there are no ways to learn while I'm here? I didn't say that. Only there are limits to what I personally can teach you. However, in our bedroom, I have left a book for you. Some theory on how Shapers do what we do might be instructive. Also, in Zachary's Hall, there are people who can teach you some simpler spells for a price. You should take advantage of that. Explore this valley. They're lying to you. Okay, so now we've kind of got a setup similar to the first game. One of the things that I really liked for like people like Egrets that haven't seen this game before and that I would really love to sell the Geneforge 1 at least on. I haven't played this, but I can't imagine it's much like, I can't imagine that it'll be a lot worse in my opinion. Because Geneforge 1 was amazing. Yeah, it's very open-ended. There's numerous endings. Like, the first one is you crash on an island that's been abandoned and sealed, and so you even being there, even by accident, is illegal. And then it just says, alright, it's all the way off the island. Bye! And that's it. There you go. You get that, your final quest you get at the first, like, 10 minutes of the game. Now, let's find somebody that can teach us a spell. All the guards are uneasy in our presence, but that could just be because, well, we're gods. Zenistal. Or Zensital? Sure. You have the pleasure of meeting a young shaper, only slightly older than you. His robes are new and clean, and he is too. His eyes are mismatched, but he looks well rested and ready to explore. When you approach the table, he's sitting there and looking despondently down at his soup. When he sees you, however, he perks up immediately. He favors you with a broad, friendly grin. Ah, another young shaper. Come, join me. He leaps up to pull out a chair for you. I'm Zensital, and I greet you. I recognize the aimless, ambitious look of a shaper aspirant. Come, let's trade stories of our powers, beliefs, or of trying to find a place. What's your philosophy as a shaper? If I had to sum it up in one word, it'd be sharing. I don't mean share our powers, of course. I mean that we must share our benefits. We must approach creations and commons with a spirit of giving and kindness. Of course, we all say this. I may have expressed my beliefs, however, in a way that made other shapers doubt me. You've been doubted by other shapers? I find that shapers harden their hearts as they grow older. They grow grasping and mistrustful. Bitter. We must always love the commons and the creations. We hold our powers for their benefit, after all. Oh, this is really gross. Oh, cool. It's gross towards all of our creations in a new and exciting way. How do you regard creations? We are their creators. They are our children. We must regard them as we regard any human children we have. It's a nice sentiment, but it flies in the face of all shaper law and tradition. This is way better than what most people in this society are. Oof. So I actually like option 2 here, even from an ethical standpoint in a way. Because they're not kids. Our creations are not children. Children are children. Creations are servants. So my teacher said. As did every shaper I ever worked with. And there is truth in it. Grown children are to be independent, while creations must obey. I must think on it. I mean, maybe they're not kids because they should be free. If I said that, we'd be executed. Almost certainly, if I remember correctly. It's a big no-no in Shaper Law to care about the creations. Okay, if I steal it when a friendly character can see me, well, now no friendly character can see me. The commander of the Warren Guards is patrolling the halls. She's a young guardian, and her armor is clean and in good repair. You would guess that she came to Dry Peak recently. She nods to you, though your presence makes her anxious. I am Nora, a guardian of the Warden. We welcome you, and will give you all the assistance you are due. What's past these locked doors? The quarters of the guards and the Shapers who command us. Nothing you need to see. What can you tell me about the rogues? It's a minor problem. We can handle it on our own. Without outsider help. You should stay very close to Dry Peak, though, for your own safety. Don't try to help us. You're refusing the aid of a Shaper when fighting creations? Is that wise? A Shaper apprentice, you mean? She gives us some thought. Well, there are lots of rogues. When we kill some, more appear. Our numbers are small. I am allowed to recruit help. But don't look for a reward. Our resources are limited. Alright, where should I begin the hunt? Our trackers think the creations are coming from a forest to the southwest. Leave Dry Peak to the west, then go south into the deeper fungal forest. It's a good place to hunt. Be wary, though. They can swarm. The new rogues, they're fresh creations, mindless and hungry. They're appearing somewhere nearby, but don't have the forces for a proper search. Okay. It's a lot of security for those guards' quarters. Is this maybe the people that can teach us some spells? It looks like it. This is a shaping hall. Here, Shapers concentrate on making and remaking living things to suit their purposes. This hall is set up to do actual research so that new creations can be designed. Such research usually takes the form of taking a live creation and focusing magical energy into it. If it makes the creature better or stronger, the Shapers record what they did. If it has the opposite effect, they discard the damaged creation and don't repeat that manipulation. It's a crude method, but it works. If the Shapers have ever figured out how to modify a living thing precisely, it would be a major advancement. This hall shows the signs of heavy use. Booted feet have worn tracks on the floor. Many experiments have taken place here, as Shapers struggle to make life that can flourish in these harsh mountains. From the looks of the desolate landscape outside, those efforts have been futile. Interesting. That anvil in the middle of the nearby circle is glowing slightly. You recognize this device, and it merits closer investigation. This man is instantly recognizable as a research Shaper. The stained, torn robes, the burns, the habitual nervousness, born of constant danger of being eaten by a rogue. All the signs are there. Visitors make him uncomfortable, which is why he is lurking back here. He is still polite. I am Tyalia. Welcome to the Dry Peak Research Labs. How can I help you, fellow Shaper? I'd love some training. Yes, okay. Yes, Shaper. Zachary has told me to be helpful. Would you like to learn about spells, creations, or weapon shaping? I would love to learn some spells. 680. Man. I'd love to, like, improve Firebolt or learn Searer. So these would be like battle magic. Oh god, there's like a whole thing for this. There's battle magic and what else? Battle magic, mental magic, blessing. Right, okay. I don't know, we'll learn War Blessing. Sure. And it'll teach us how to make other creatures, improve them. So this is new. This was definitely not in the first one. Battle Alpha. This hulking creature is a Battle Alpha. These creatures are favored melee-based shock troops of the Shaper army. They're huge, strong, brutal. More importantly, they're reliably obedient. Weapon shaping is also new, yeah. Like Thads, they communicate primarily through grunts, growls, and gurgles. Not a reliable source of good conversation. So what is this? You approach this glowing anvil. It is made of solid steel infused with essence. Shapers use such anvils as a surface to maintain their tools. Such items are normally very rare, but the Dry Peak Mountains are unusual. You're not an expert tinkerer, but doing simple modifications such as using such an anvil is a routine part of Shaper training. Certain enchanted items can be improved with the proper materials. Augment gear. Huh. Oh, is weapon shaping like new? Like, is it new for the remake? %100% new. Okay. I see. Just behind you, you hear an angry hiss and the sound of worm skin gliding across a stone floor. You whirl around, instantly recognizing an ambush. Creation spontaneously going rogue doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Like, for example, now. Well, shit. Close into melee range. no! Gene! The gene that we forged is gone. Oh, well, anyway. I'll just make new life in a little while. Well, there's nobody to see me, right? What if I did a little crime as a treat? Alright. You find a journal of shaping techniques and instructions, mainly regarding fire creatures. You may not have received permission to read this stuff, but you were told to investigate. That's a good enough excuse. You quickly digest the contents of the book. You learn useful techniques for creating fioras. So we improved it maybe? Or just got experience? 16 living tools. That's not happening. Also, I just realized she told us to go and read a book in the house. Could probably do that. Don't taunt the experiments. Alright, we'll forge another gene. Gotta have at least a pair of genes. Actually, let's look down here first. We'll go and read her book in a minute. One thing that sets Shapers apart from common humans is that all of their tools are bred and grown, not made. This room is one such breeding hall. Here, living tools, batons, and thorns are being grown in pens to serve the needs of this colony. The tool breeding stock is very well guarded. To lose the ability to grow fresh batons and tools is a major blow to any Shaper colony. Didn't know they were doing remakes of the series. Would you say the originals are still worth checking out for someone who's never played them? I've never played the originals either. I played Geneforge 1 as the remake in 2022, right at the end of the year. I finished it on December 29th. I looked back when we started this. Depressed cat. As far as the remake goes, I can't say about the original, because it looked like there's definitely some clunkier UI and things like that. But the remake is one of the better RPGs I've ever played. Unique, extremely well written, very open to doing like tons of really cool things. Like, it's super damn cool. But yeah, my understanding, like Wallader is saying, is that there's a reason they're getting remakes. Is that the older ones are kind of clunky. And by kind of clunky, I mean real awful. You meet the woman in charge of breeding Shaper tools. She looks like a common mage. Not a full Shaper. It's very unusual for an outsider to be given such close access to Shaper equipment. Things are different out here in the wilderness. She smiles and nods. Greetings, Shaper. I am Jess. Welcome to my little workshop. Are you in need of supplies? Can we sell things? God damn it. No. Need more than one coin, damn it. Fine. What do you know about the events? Oh, nothing, Shaper. I am not of your kind. They let me work here. It's interesting work, but I know nothing of Shaper business outside the city walls. I only do what Shaper Zachary instructs, which is keep the thorn bushes watered and the baby tools fed, keep the growing batons moist and warm, and keep them from eating each other. I'm like a farmer, but with a very unusual crop. Okay. Oh, is the junk bag limited? I thought that it was unlimited. Well, I can get rid of some of it eventually, I'm sure. I'll be better about picking up stuff and loot gremlining, I guess, if I have to. Like, okay, I probably don't need big blocks. $15 Shaper tools. Well, that's not happening. Obeyor's Reminder. Oh, God. Every moment of happiness you ever have is because of the Shapers. And sadness, too. All satisfaction at work properly performed is because of a Shaper. And is owed. The joys of food, of children, and song all comes from the Shapers, and can be taken if one is wise. All wisdom and guidance comes from the Shapers. Shaper errors only lead to pure truth. All protection comes from the Shapers. The Shapers are the greatest of powers. We must be thankful, and we must obey. All comes from the Shapers. Nobody's looking right now. Living tools are really, really nice to have, okay? And I'm the hero, so they're mine. Right, I'm gonna be 30 seconds. I just want to go and do something real quick. I wanted to add a little more milk to this coffee. And I'll see you in a moment. Alright, we're back. Woo. Sorry about that. Just wanted to jump in and out real quick. Cookout beer, fireworks. Nice. Hope you had fun missing. I guess All of the Americans are probably enjoying their 4th of July weekend early. Let's ask around with these miners. I'm also just going to go into the ruins, I think, in a little while. There are several common miners sitting in a camp in the corner of town. They are here to provide direction to the servile diggers. The mines are temporarily closed due to monsters, so they are unemployed. Like most common humans, they do everything they can to avoid talking to shapers. When you're close, they nod politely and get very quiet. As you walk off, one of them mutters, "Things got bad ever since Ajax left." Interesting. Let's go into this mine then. Oh. You must gather your party before venturing forth. Canadians are def starting. You can see it out your windows. Funny, not here yet. Although I don't doubt you. I'm working on Canada Day, though, so... And then probably streaming. You know, like I do. So I'm working, and then I'm going to come home and work. You enter the Dry Peak Mines. The resources in these peaks were probably the reason for starting this colony in the first place. Quality metal and gemstones are always in high demand in human cities, shaper or otherwise. It is cold and damp down here. It's also abandoned. All of the servile mine workers have been pulled out. Rogue creations have moved in to replace them. You can detect the rank smell of feral beasts, and their growls and hisses easily echo to you through the tunnels. Actually, monsters aren't the only thing you hear. You hear soft footsteps coming from a room to the west. Hello? Shaper, just a few more hours. A single guard has been left to watch the entrance to the mine. She's pacing back here, well back from where any of the rogues are wandering. A pair of hastily placed tunnels outside protect her. She doesn't seem worried. When she sees you, she approaches and bows. Though you haven't met, she knows who you are. Word travels fast in a colony this small. Welcome, Shaper. Welcome to the mines, dangerous though they are. I am Scout Zora. What's going on in the mines? Bad. A lot of the rogues snuck in here. When a bunch of warriors get together and drive them all out, they stay away. At first. Then, the moment we send the serviles into work, the rogues are back, killing them. The Shapers set up some defenses, but they're not working right. You forgot to mention the other day, when you went in to buy a beer, lady looked at your ID and never looked at you and said, "Has anyone ever told you you look like John Wick?" So I'm telling my one friend and I go, you know, when you get out of the car, don't look at, I need to look at my ID. Also, don't fuck with my dog. Yeah. Also, why wouldn't they say you look like Keanu Reeves? I love the idea of, like, naming you after, like, saying that you look like the fictional person rather than the actual actor that played them. Very weird. No, specifically you look like Keanu Reeves after you've had the shit beaten out of you. Damn, Walladil. That's not nice. What sort of defenses? They made some pylons, just a few, but enough. Big magic things that'll kill intruders. But They aren't working right. I don't know much about it. Why don't they fix the pylons? Shaper Zachary is the only one who might know how, and he never comes outside since Barzal left. Not my job to question him, is it? You ask her to elaborate, if she knows more. This common is wise enough not to tell a Shaper. What else do you know? Oh, not much. Sorry, I never really spent much time in there. All I know is these rooms here. Oh, and I know where the servant mind is. Go north, take the right branch, first door on the left. If it's still alive, it'll know a lot more than me. Okay. Just leave her alone. Discussion of some of the defenses, but I kind of know them already. They're mentioning like spore boxes and like, yeah, stuff that I've dealt with in previous games. Could lockpick that, which I kind of want to do, but I also want to get some levels and make it better, make ourselves better at lockpicking and stuff first. Lamps are useful. In fact, there. This door is locked. You don't have a key. I'd need 9 tools. 7 on that one. More living tools here. Nice. This book contains mine records. How many serviles they have, how many they've lost, how much iron, how many crystals have been recovered, so on. One page has a complicated sketch on it. It's some sort of schematic, but you can't understand it. So we did, by the way, like I said, this is Hell Week, and I have 6 weddings, and some of them out of town, one of them out of town enough that we have to, like, spend 3 days doing the trip. And the wedding today was a great start to it. Unironically, I was actually like, we had a lot of fun there. It started out, they had an arch. Everybody always asks like what my favorite things at weddings are, and I have a good answer for you now, because this was rad as fuck. So they had their archway, right, for like going down the aisle. But what they'd done is she had like hand sewn a bunch of vines for it, which is pretty damn cool. There's all these like long vines off of it with leaves on them. It's way cooler than that because it was a physical representation of data from their first 1,000 games of cribbage together. And they had an actual, like, needlepoint chart that had a legend of all of how the data is interpreted. And, like, it was shown by the leaves on the vine. Mwah. One of the most unique, cool things I've ever seen. It was so fucking rad. They were very, very fun. They were very cool. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. I just realized that that's one of the pylons. Whoop. Yep, there we go. When you recognize the glowing crystal pillar ahead, you freeze. It is one of the more cunning and dangerous Shaper inventions. a defense pylon. It's a gooey, fragile, magically charged creation, protected by a thick shell of pure crystal. They're used to defend areas of great importance from intruders. Luckily, this pylon decides not to incinerate you. It's been deactivated. Some pylons can only act if a nearby control device permits it. I was a big crib fan. I like cribbage a lot. But, like, beyond the cribbage thing, just, like, I mean, 30 vines or something that are all, like, 7 feet long with all of these, like, intricate little data points sewn into them is, like, super, super cool. Just that alone, like, whether it was for crib or anything else, like, it was just a really, really neat visualization of all that data as, like, something that they had really enjoyed together. Just very, very cool. Your grandma plays cribbage with your mom and uncle and cousin every time your mom is in town. I used to play cribbage for points, where, like, for every point that you score, we would have, like, an amount that you would win. So, like, we would play for money, basically. So, like, if you beat somebody by... It was funny, because we'd play for, like, okay, we'll play for 5 cents, right? Doesn't sound like, okay, like, whatever, 5 cents. Incredible how quickly it would add up. We played for quarters a couple times, and it got a little pricey when I was young, because I was, like, playing it with my dad. Because what it was is it's per point. So, for example, if the score, because the end score can be 121, so it's fairly close, and it's 121 to 90, that's actually quite a bit of money. Like, not $10, but close, right? 30 points, 25 cents each. Now, if you get skunked, you double it. If you get double skunked, skunking is, like, if you beat by a certain point margin, there's, like, lines for skunk and double skunk. Double and then quadruple the money. When you suddenly get double skunked, because you had a really rotten luck game, and you lose, like, $70, you very quickly are like, I don't want to play for money anymore. I had a lot of fun playing cribbage, though. Yeah, that was... I'd like to walk back a little bit. Shouts alarm. And this one has haste. That's one of the things that the Fiora can learn and get good at. They can basically be hasted up. Fast little guys. God damn. Oh shit, it got charmed. It's charmed because it's dying. So they'll, like, rebel. That's less than ideal. Yes, it's for our save points and stuff. It's better for our creations to die than us. This is true. Where's the healing font? Is there one in town? I mean, if we go to town, we should be able to rest, right? Isn't there a way to, like... Oh, no, we don't even have to rest. It's just automatic. God, right. I forgot about that. I'm actually gonna make a single Thad. But this time, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade its, like, endurance and stuff a little bit. Chance of evading attacks. Endurance. Does mean that we're less good at controlling it. Charge was always really good. Yeah, this is one of, like, the interesting parts about this game. There's a lot of interesting parts, but basically, like, I can just give this thing as many abilities and such as I want for all of my essence. Like, how much essence do I even have, actually? I have 28. So, like, I could just, you know, like, alright, let's just blam. Fuck yeah, let's get it real good. There you go, fully upgraded. Also, it'll never listen to me. So you have to, like, balance out your, like, okay, how likely is this thing to listen to me? Like, you gotta kind of feel out where you might want to level it to. So sometimes it's better to have, like, a few weaker ones rather than one really big one. In fact, maybe... God, the problem is that I'm not dealing a lot of damage right now. Like, I kind of like just having a front line and us just casting spells at things. Yeah, we can also build multiple creations in different ways for different battle rules, which is kind of what we had before. The Fiora was our damage dealer, this is our tank. Yes, there's also action economy to consider. There's a lot of really cool things going on for that. I'm gonna make... Still gonna make 2 Thads. You always have to make a pair of jeans. Okay, so she'd said that there was a control mine, right? Like, to the north, I think she said? Like, I think that she said specifically to the northwest. Go north, take the right branch, first door on the left. Okay. I would like to find the servant mine, both because I think that it's important and good to find, and also because I would love to show the people that don't know this game the servant mines. You find a servant mine in the back hall of this workshop. You're surprised to find that it is still alive. Servant minds are one of the greatest shaper creations. They are thinking machines. They never move. They spend their lives in specially made trays, eating, thinking, and running things. They do simple jobs that require some thought, but don't merit the full attention of a shaper. For example, this mind was surely in charge of running this mine. This mine. When the lonely beast sees you, it grins. Its tiny, useless arms and legs twitch with excitement. That's right, baby. We got weird biocomputers. Get the feeling that when I had somebody come in last week as an actual account, follow me and talk to me like a normal person for a little while, and then go, hey, have you ever tried to buy any spam? Have you ever tried to buy any followers? You can get them here. That when I told them to go fuck themselves, they probably took it personally and are now sending all their stupid bots at me. As you approach, the servant mind's big, moist eyes roll up to look at you. It shakes itself in a jiggly motion, kicking off a bunch of dust and cobwebs. Nobody's visited in a while. Ah, Shaper. Good Shaper. Thanks, Shaper. Shaper comes to Lonely Prip. I am Prip. Minds are dangerous. Shaper must be careful. Servant minds are made with huge ranges of intelligence. This is not one of the brighter ones. Why are you still alive, Prip? The rogues, they fear me, and they know I am not tasty, so they do not bother me. And when they do, I hurt them. They leave. Servant minds are often made with the ability to shock or otherwise harm attackers, because of situations exactly like this one. Are your defenses still active? Wow, this is a lot. Huh. Somebody definitely has a hard-on for me right now, huh? That's funny. Yeah, well. Good news. It's not hard to ban them. Anyway, out of the kitchen, eager to finally see what this is all about. I mean, did you hear what I'd said earlier about, like, the basic premise? Egrets? Because that's a lot of it. Like, the premise of this game is so good. I've never seen this many. That's alright. We'll just ignore it for now. I can put it into followers mode for a while. Yeah, or like R9K. Seems like it'll slow down though. Prip raises its stubby little arms and closes its eyes. Its hands begin to glow. Sparks fly out. Then Prip opens its eyes and the glow fades. Enough for pests. Yes. Let's do something else here, too, that might help things. And let's go into R9K. God, what is the art? I haven't had to turn this on, like, ever. Give me one moment. Sorry, of course this is annoying. But what do you do? Man, why is it not? Whatever. I mean, they're definitely slowing down. Weird. What is happening in the mines? I not know. I stay here in my tray, lonely. I run mine when have serviles and no monsters. With monsters and no serviles, I sit. Can you come with me to investigate? Prip raises its tiny, useless arms and legs so you can see them. Then he makes a wobbly shrugging motion. Prip dumb. You dumber. Well, we've met our servant mind. Why even give them arms and legs? My guess is that it's like probably, I mean, I guess not considering living tools, but it feels like it's kind of a nod to like some kind of need that they have. We do have to feed them and stuff, so they might actually feed themselves with their legs. And shift around a little bit. I did see a Fiora here a second ago. Swear we saw an enemy. Oh, hello. That's unfortunate. At least we can block for us. And then start throwing some spells. Dazed, good. Let's go minor heal. Oh boy. That's why we'd like to have charge. Do this. Let's heal again. One. Can't reach it. Yeah. Oh, right. We move first. I should have moved forward. Good punching. Thanks, Jeans. I'm just a normal shaper. I put my jeans on one leg at a time after they're dead because I threw them into combat and didn't care about them. It's really horrific. Nobody likes watching it. If fire dinosaurs kill the guards, then that would mean that we're no longer under the guy's surveillance. Well, these aren't our guards. These are not their guards. These are creations that I've made. I'm not currently under surveillance. That's or at least we don't think so. That's kind of the idea of the story so far, is that because we're a very young apprentice, that we're not really being followed, and they're spending pretty much all of their time and attention watching the agent that brought us here, because they're the real threat, and so we have to pick up the slack. They're stretched thin, so they can't follow all of us. It's kind of the idea that I'm getting. This is a piece of Shaper machinery. It looks recently made, though mold and fungus are already creeping onto it. A plaque on the side is legible. It says, Defense. On the side, you find very simple controls. A lever and a hole where a control crystal might be inserted. Control crystals are generally used to keep unauthorized invaders, Shaper or common, from activating or deactivating devices. You don't have the control key, and your mechanic skill is too feeble to affect the device. There's nothing you can do here. Oh, okay, never mind then. Yeah, these are THAADs, so remember that the basic premise is that we can shape life. So we can actually, instead of having a party, like, of NPCs or whatever, what it is, I mean, I guess they'd just be player characters, but getting characters and, like, adding them to our party. Instead, we just, like, shape party members, essentially. Also, they can't follow all two of you. I mean, yeah, it's kind of silly, but also when you consider that the premise is that, like, they can't, when we get here, they can't even man their walls, or, like, they can't open their front gate to let us in. And they've got, like, their minds overrun with monsters. And it seems like they're maybe at war with another Shaper, is my guess. Some kind of thing like that. They're not having a good time. Crystal down here. What is that? Okay. Listen, I'll only shape vampires if it ends up being really cool. It's probably pretty cool. I'm just gonna back up just a bit. Oof. God damn. Ow. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa. Hey, pal. Let's not do that. Oh, thank God. Dazing them is great. Oh, right. You've got a higher level Thad than me. It can jump. How close am I to a level? Pretty close. Need 2,000? Sure. Shit. Those daisies are nice. Ow. Oh, no. Don't be charmed. Oh, thank God. Might need to leave here. You only shape unknowable Chthonian monstrosities. Yeah. You mean Vlish. Or Gazers. Oh, man, I wanted to just show them. Because there are some pretty horrible monstrosities. I should just healing spores. I could eat food, too. How do I eat this? Sure. Can't just... Listen, you can't just pop all the eggs at once. You're full. Man, they've never met me in real life, that's for sure. I could pop all those eggs easy. 2 eggs? That ain't nothing. Okay, still don't have a control key for this. And... grab a bunch of junk, because I'm a loot goblin. That's my goblin noise. I need 20 living tools. Well, that's not happening. Oh, boy. Okay, we're gonna do that because there's a lot of tactics in this game. They can remove themselves from an enemy, but only by 1, and then they can't just keep going. Like, extricating yourself from a nearby enemy is not the easiest. Alright, we're out of essence. I can't even heal. Because that requires spell points and essence. Ooh, stunned. Oh, no. And dead. Oh, I'm not dead. Let's walk 7. And then, how about, Everyone heal up a little bit. That'll maybe make them less scared and they won't run away. Be cool. Oh, thank God. See, we're fine. Even got a quick action. Simple. Iron shield. Okay. And a bunch of amethysts. Neat. And there's a fine mined crystal on the ground. Sure. Though this is a fairly successful iron mine, iron is not valuable enough to justify spending this much effort developing a colony. It takes something more, and you've found it. In the walls here, you can see flecks of crystal. Crystals are very useful, in fact, necessary, to make magical items of all sorts. They're prized by shapers and common magicians. Most crystals can be sold to merchants. Fine crystals you find in this mine might be workable into magical items. Of course, you would first need to find someone with the ability to craft them. All right. There's some crystal. I did not mean to accidentally load a quick save. Thankfully, it didn't. Polite of them to explain, yeah, this is vendor junk. These are the useful ones. Oh, it'll actually tell you even faster than that. If you hit this, get all items, it will just take all items that aren't useless. Nah, this game did a really good job. Like, this is basically the same as Geneforge 1 for the remake stuff. Where, like, they do an excellent job, for the most part, of making it so that you can just, like, separate out what you need and what you can just sell. And when you go to shops, like, your junk bag, it's not infinite. I thought it was. It's close. It's got a lot of space in it. It doesn't count to your weight. And when you go into shops, you can just click sell from junk bag, and it'll just sell anything that they'll accept to them immediately out of your junk bag. So you can just, you know that it's safe, you know that you want to get rid of it. Boom. Easy. It's great. It's really cool. Actually, I'm going to put those in junk. There are definitely things you don't want to sell that it will happily sell. That's if you're selling from the junk bag though, like that's your fault for putting it in the junk bag. At least to an extent. Could really use a level. Correct, Mr. Shermer, who you saw put fine mined crystals into the junk bag. Well, I just wasn't going to create anything yet. I don't know who can do anything with them. My excuse for that is literally that I was just going to sell them. That's why I threw it in there. I know you might not like that answer because you're like, but they're so useful. But I haven't seen them be useful, so I don't care. Jesus. Oh boy. Huh. This might be a run. Oh, that crit was real nice. Double crit. Very nice. Oh, God. That's not so nice. Uh-huh. Oh. Fuck. Oh. Where the fuck did that die? It died and fell into a crystal? What the hell is going on? God, another Fiora. Right. Dummy. Oh. Quick action. Nice. Oh, come on. You didn't have to get charmed right then, did you? That's real bad for me. I need to get out of these mines. Time to go rest. I was really hoping to get another level before then, but that is not happening. God, we're 35 points away. Oof. Fine, fine. Don't talk to me or a stack of 159 find mind crystals ever again. God, Wallet Hill? Yeah. See, this is why I'm selling mine. This is a shop, right? Don't have much to sell. Alright. Sell junk. Neat. Okay, I still have a lot of stuff. And I only have 280, 211. Okay. I just want to be able to buy some, like, improved spells and stuff soon. I hope that we don't lose those crystals they dropped. Because we'll find out. I don't think they despawned normally. No, they don't. Okay. Sure, we'll keep 2 lanterns. I don't need 2 lanterns and a candle. Here, let's light things up too. Fiery wand. Shapers are not above using regular magical items, the sorts commons make. Hello? Well, there's some money. Sell those topaz. Look, I left the trash. What a good boy I'm being. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm not a full trash panda. Speaking of, we've actually had a raccoon move into the neighborhood. It's been running around our backyard doing some stuff. And then, the other night, so like literally yesterday... Whoa, cat, please. Oh my god. My cat was rolled over and went right on top of my keyboard. Hit a bunch of buttons. But I was brushing my teeth and I heard this. Not that. Stupid intro. I heard this. It was pretty late at night. It's like it's 12:30 now. I tend to go to bed pretty late. So I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck? Am I hearing this? What is this? Oh, my cat's getting... He can hear through my headphones. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Is that the raccoon? So I like run downstairs and I'm kind of looking out the windows. And my cat joins me. Anyong's like all excited and he's looking out the windows. Does anyone know what that sound was? Does anyone know what noises that is by, like, just ear? Because it was a fun one. Possum? Nope. We don't got opossums up here. Probably raccoon fucking. No, good guess, though. I figured it would be the raccoon. It was not the raccoon. It was, in fact. And I did get to see it. Skunk sounds. That's what skunks sound like. They do all kinds of weird like... They're really neat. They're pretty cool. And my... Oh, man. Every time I turn that video on, my cat is instantly, like, whipping his head around like, what is that? Where is it going? You had a Fisher cat screaming outside your house a while ago. That's a weird sound to hear. I don't even know what a Fisher cat is. Also, good to see you, all you cool lurkers. Schmuck and Fitzme and everybody else. What is a Fisher cat? It's like a weasel. Holy shit, that's cool. Huh. Yeah, I don't think those are around here. Neat. Anyway, back to the game. These servile quarters are a mess. It smells terrible, and there's refuse everywhere. You immediately see why. In the back of the quarters, you see 3 serviles. They're hiding, trembling with fear. They've been here for some time, but somehow they've managed to evade the rogues. They're so hungry that they barely react when they see you. One of them manages a weak smile. Oh, that's awful. I'm cold. I'm hungry. Servile walks up to you shyly. He's a miner, trapped back here after the latest group of rogues infested the mines. His hands are worn from long toil, and a small pick hangs from his belt. Although he doesn't recognize you, miners are simply servile variants, bred and trained to obey Shapers totally. Shaper, we are hungry. Help us, please. Please take us home. First, tell me, what do you know of the mines? Mines where we work. Mines bad and monsters. Hungry. Please take us home. If you want better information than that, you won't be able to get it here. Alright, let's take them with us. Line up and prepare to follow me. Well, let's try not to get them all killed, shall we? Oh, there's food over here. Hey, dummies. There's food on the ground. It's everybody's favorite thing in games. The escort quest. Are you... Oh boy, they're not great at following. I will say, I don't necessarily love this, but I should be able to protect them. Come on, guys. You know, it might actually be in my area. Most of its range is in Canada. Fair enough. But I'm on the prairies. It seems like it's more of like a boreal... it's like a forest kind of animal. There's no forests near here. Like, up in the mountains, it's probably there. But it's not, like, near my city, really. Hour or two away. I'm home! Alright, level up. Hell yeah, baby. That's what I was looking for. Right. I want leadership and mechanics. I'm not super interested in stealth. That's not how I want to play this, I don't think. I'm gonna hit up Spellcraft another time. Or go just more intellect. Could just level both of them one more time. And then get, like, Essence Mastery later. You know, I'm gonna do that. Like, how much do these cost now? Only requires 1 instead of 4? Yeah, that's a little more reasonable. Oh, wow, and this one just opens without even using anything now. Yeah, I'm glad I did that. This barrel is full of junk. Okay. Oh, nice. Very nice. Also, I mean, we get experience from doing that too, so it's pretty damn cool. Very nice to have. And what do we have on the ground? Oh man, shoes instead of sandals? Gauntlets. We're at 30 pounds wearing. Yeah, most of what you see on a semi-regular basis are like a lot of common birds, mink, muskrat, coyote, raccoon, some deer. Yeah, I see a lot of white-tailed deer around here and like some of the wetland birds. We get a lot of pelicans, actually, which is fun. Pelicans and herons. There's not too many neat things that way around here for us. Although, we did have a cougar in my neighborhood. Like, it got into town somehow quite recently. So much so that they're, like, putting warnings up in all the parks right outside of my house. Like, I went for a walk about, like, a week and a half ago and just walking around. And they had all these warnings. They're like, please go home. There was a cougar here less than 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, okay, getting back. Fair enough. Remember when you saw a black bear just chilling in someone's yard in the middle of town? Yeah, up in the mountains where my, like, parents-in-law live, that happens a lot. See a lot of bear scat all over the place. There's bears just constantly walking through town. Black bears, honestly not super scary. Brown bears are terrifying. You do not mess with brown bears. Black bears are just little cowards. Not saying that you should mess them, but like, generally if you show them any kind of spine, they'll just run away. And cougars are terrifying. Cougars are one of the things that occasionally someone will think they see here and they're always wrong. This one, they weren't wrong. They had wildlife officers going around and, like, hunting it. It was a problem. But yeah, it was very rare. Very, very rare where I am. But I just want to sell some of these weird limbs and stuff. It's fine. What do I even have in my junk bag anymore? Oh, like junk. Gotcha. Alright. In any case, it is after 12 by a fair bit. I need to get up early in the morning to do more work. Yay! And, this is a blast. I'm going to be back doing some more Geneforge again soon. I'll definitely be streaming tomorrow after I work. On Monday, we normally do DOS Cider, where I play DOS games. I should be able to still set that up around the wedding that I have on Monday, but I'll keep everybody informed. If you want to know this whole schedule, you can always check out the Discord. Free for everybody. I'll put up like all the information there, when I'm going to go live, what I'm going to be doing. We had a poll today as to what I would play even, so I bought this on that recommendation. Because I did want to play this eventually. We loved Geneforge 1 so much, and I figured I'd put it up there. People wanted it. I'm excited about that too. Yeah, other than that, if you like the stream, those follows mean a lot. See y'all soon. Have a good night. I'm going to host you over to somebody else. And hi to the YouTube, the couple of people that stopped in. Nobody chatted, but it was nice to have you lurking around. I'll put up this whole playthrough on a playlist on YouTube. I've already got it set up, so you should be able to see it all there. And have a good night.